be excellent to each other, and party on. We're back with another Legacy League. We're playing Nethergoyf Tempo Control, and we're playing all 4 Nethergoyf. We're playing all 4 Tamiyo. We got the early pressure. We also have the control element. We're playing 3 Nihil Spellbombs. I decided to kick Mishra's Bauble to the curb because I got sick of it getting countered by Vexing Bauble. We're playing 2 Thoughtseize, and we're also playing 3 Baleful Strix. So that's 6 artifacts. That's 6 sorceries when you combine the Thoughtseize with the Ponder. So our Nethergoyfs should quite often be quite beefy boys. We have rounded it out with some good threats, and Emperor of Bones, Psychic Frog, of course, and we've got the 3 Baleful Strix, which should stonewall our opponent's aggression while we either go up the Tamiyo Seasoned Sculler, draw half your deck route, or while we beat away at them with the Nethergoyfs. So this should be fun. It is kind of a hybrid between tempo and mid-range and control. It's somewhere in that mix. We have a Soul Brazen Borrower in addition to our 4 Fatal Pushes as our removal suite. We have Force. We have 3 Dazes, 3 Wastelands. So again, a modest tempo suite. And then we've just got ridiculously good mana. We've got 9 fetches. We've got 2 basics. We have some selection under City Sewers. Like, I think this is basically the perfect mana base for this deck. We had the ability to fetch a Swamp. We have 5 fetches for Swamp, so we can potentially Harbinger of Seas our opponents. We have 2 of those. We've got 3 Consigned to Memory, Hydroblast, 2 Force Negations in case we run into combo, and then my favorite card, Orcish Bowmasters. We got 4 of those lurking in the wings, waiting to jump in and do some damage on our Miracles opponents. We have a Long Goodbye in case we run into the Frog. We've got a Toxic Deluge in case we run into creature strategies like, for example, Nadu. And we have Powder Keg. And even though I kind of think that we should add a Grafdigger's Cage here. It's so good right now because it hits both the Nadu deck and the reanimation decks, which are both running rampant over the format right now. So I almost kind of feel like we could probably take out the Hydroblast and we could bring that in. Maybe that's disrespecting red, but like we have a lot of non-blue threats in case we get paired up against Painter. So I think we can do it. Let's go. We're going to play a full league as usual. Please leave a comment with a timestamp if you see me make any misplays that I don't catch during the video, and that will help me get better. It'll hopefully help other people watching the video get better. Getting better is the name of the game. We're going to do a full 5 rounds, and it should be a lot of fun. See you in round 1. All right, we're back up against a likely Bant Nadu player. We have a pretty solid hand. I mean, I like opening Tamiyo, and then if Tamiyo sticks around, we can potentially brainstorm, or we can play out the Emperor of Bones. Emperor of Bones isn't going to do a whole lot in this matchup. I definitely think Fatal Push can do a lot, though. I don't want to just chill. Okay, so another thing we could do is we are going to need some removal. We might want to counterspell. I could see us just going Island Ponder here, and then fetching the Underground Sea later, or potentially immediately flipping Tamiyo. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm going to do that because I'm not really worried about them removing Nethergoyfs and things like that. I do think Tamiyo can do a lot in this matchup. Now, I shouldn't assume that they're playing that, but I kind of did. They've been playing it a lot lately. Oh, I clicked Tamiyo. It looks like we're playing Tamiyo first. Yeah, this was from a few days ago. They've been playing a lot of Bant Control. Seem to be a Green Sun Zenith enthusiast, which I can definitely relate to. I love that card. I just don't love Nadu. So once they ban Nadu, I might consider playing Green Sun Zenith decks, but it's just not my cup of tea. Clicking all that and going off. Okay, so Delighted Halfling, as we expected, they are likely on Nadu. No problem, though. I can brainstorm, I can shuffle, and I can Fatal Push. If they're on this deck, there's not really any reason for me to fetch basics. In fact, you could argue I shouldn't have fetched a basic last turn. Oh, well, that's pretty damn good. I do think I want to go ahead and attack just to create the clue. Now I will brainstorm to Flipper. We got a whole lot of not good cards that we're going to be able to shuffle away here. I'll shuffle away the The ones they can't get are Basic Swamp. And I think it's good to go ahead and just fetch. I mean, there's no reason not to get the Swamp here. I can't think of a good reason. So I'm going to get the Swamp here. I'll just push. And then next turn, I can fetch the Surveil land maybe. Yeah, so we just need to keep the board clear. It's also worth noting there may be some good creatures in their deck that we can nug with Emperor of Bones. Oh, they conceded. Interesting. Hopefully they come back because it says they win the game and they conceded. Wow, they just conceded the match. That's crazy. Maybe they were... yeah, well, anyway, I hope everything's well with you, Brendan, and hope there wasn't some emergency over there. Let's go to round 2. All right, we're back for round 2 against Heart Attack Muffin, who is also a Nadu gamer. I think we keep this. This seems super duper strong. I mean, like, it's easy to think your hand is strong when it's got like a Baleful Strix and 2 lands in it. I mean, that's like the makeup of a great hand. Wish my opponent luck, and we'll see what our draw is for the turn. Okay, Nethergoyf seems like a pretty strong opener. I can't think of any reason not to go for it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep our fetch. Yeah, I'll just keep our fetch. Well, yeah, I kind of wish I had fetched there because Nethergoyf would have a little more toughness just in case they have Bowmasters. That is definitely a possibility. It's unlikely, but Bowmasters is still in the format. It's just not as dominant as it used to be. All right, Lorien cycling for a land. Probably get a basic. Yep, they did. All right, and they pass without a play. All right, so I do have the option of just dropping the Psychic Frog and going kind of aggro. I don't hate that. I mean, they could be on Lorien Cycle. Like, they could definitely be on the Miracle stack, in which case I'm going to wish that I'd fetched a basic here. So I think I am. Let's see. If I fetch a basic, though, they could waste me off blue, which would be pretty bad. Actually, it's not the end of the world if they waste me off blue. I'm going to go get a Swamp. And I think this feels like a weird play. But I'm thinking about just pitching Baleful Strix so I can immediately get Nethergoyf doing a lot of damage if this resolves. Let's see if it resolves. Okay. Respect for the frog. Do I want to do anything here? I mean, no, that buffs the Goyf. I'll just attack with the Goyf and pass. That's fine. And again, like, I do think you want to lead with Frog because Strix is better in these control matchups because it's like a guaranteed card. Frog is obviously good too, but like they're going to have some sort of exile-based removal early on, and you'd rather your Frog eat a force than your Strix, if that makes sense. Okay, Prismatic Ending. I don't think we do anything here. That does suck, but yeah, they okay, well, I definitely don't feel bad that happened now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop both Goyfs, and then I'm going to be ready to force if they have a sweeper. But this way, you know, when an instant goes to the graveyard, these become 3/4. Like, we can do a lot of damage. They're already down to 15. Okay, red. Okay, they're passing without play. So I'm trying to think about what could be in their hand. Wrath of the Skies is definitely something that could happen. I think we go ahead and we start with Baleful Strix, and if they force that, then that's great for us. Okay, they didn't interact with that. I think the simplest thing to do is probably just attack for 3. I'm going to play this out. They are in the situation where they could Lorien Revealed, so I think it's not the worst to go ahead and play this out. And I like playing these things out just because it kind of, like, if they interact somehow, it does buff the Nethergoyf. Nethergoyf kind of flips the dynamic, just like the Surveillance flips the dynamic where you want to, normally you want to cast your spells after combat, but with Nethergoyf you want to cast them before in case they get countered. There's a Plow. I will allow it. It's a 1-for-1. They're down to 3 cards. All right, they're passing. All All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and just start by exiling the graveyard. Just to get another type in the graveyard. We draw an Underground Sea, which is not great, but it's not terrible. I mean, we are getting closer to hard cast. I think I'm just going to attack all. These fatal pushes are pretty bad in the matchup. They're down to 7, so they're 2 swings from death. That's fine. Games 2 and 3 are going to be so much easier because we'll have a Bowmaster in the deck. This deck is really creature heavy too, so we can take out like a lot of our probably our tempo cards will come out. I think I let this resolve. I know it sounds weird, but like it's almost certainly going to die next turn. That's fine. Yeah, I would have felt pretty dumb if I had pitched to kill that. Okay, so I'm going to start by attacking Teferi before I do anything. Do they have the Galvanic Discharge? No. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by playing this out first. Blue, black. I mean, you always play these out when you draw them just because who knows what you're going to draw. And they've already kind of like rebought themselves, so to speak. All right, so now that we have 3 forces, I'll definitely force, and then if I get a land, I'm not going to stop that. I can bring it back if I need to. Next turn, it'll be small, but it's still a free card. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. Would love to draw a Brainstorm here. Fourth Aerolingus, I'm just going to... I mean, I can just fly over these, and if they attack, I can kill one of them. I'm not opposed to getting the... I think I'm just going to counter this. I have an extra force, and I might draw a blue card. Okay, so they're probably going to get Fourth Aerolingus back, which is fine. I'm not even scared of Fourth Aerolingus because by the time, unless they have a way to gain life, they're taking 2 this turn, and they'll take 2 every turn. All right, that turns on Hardcast Force. I'm going to play that out. All right, so they're Hellbent, so this is going to stop their Fourth Aerolingus. So they're basically drawing dead here. Disrespecting my days. Let's get my basic here. We'll just force it. Okay, and they conceded. Great. We won game 1 against Miracles. I'm not sure that it's Miracles per se. It may be just like straight Jeskai control because it does look like they have some Planeswalkers in here. But as I said, Bowmaster is going to make this a lot easier. I almost kind of want to bring in Force of Negation because their deck is so instant and sorcery and Planeswalker heavy. Long Goodbye can hit Planeswalkers, but it's pretty bad. So the great news is their deck is probably creatureless or almost completely creatureless. So we can just pull our pushes out. I'll keep Brazen Borrower in just in case they do have like Triumph of St. Catherine, but I think this is fine. I definitely cut Dazes on the play. They're really bad. I'll keep 1 in. I don't think there's any other change that I make here. Harbinger's bad because they play tons of basics. Yeah, I think this is good. Let's do it. I'm so glad that like there's so much dead air in my deck that I can bring in like Orcish Bowmasters. Imagine how easy that match would have been had I had Bowmasters in the place of those fatal pushes. All right, this is a Thoughtseize into Nethergoyf hand with Tameo. I think this is a snap keep. All right, our opponent opens Island, pass. I think the simple thing to do is go ahead and just play on basics just in case they're playing back to basics or something. There's no reason to expose ourselves. I'm just going to get the Swamp. Actually, if I play out Nethergoyf, it's not the worst. I can just Thoughtseize and Tameo next turn, and I can get a hit in. If they plow this, that's totally fine. Tameo is actually like a scarier threat. All right, here's the removal spell. That's fine. Emperor of Bones doesn't do anything here. I don't think exiling the graveyard. This is one of those cards that's only in because there wasn't anything else to board in. Oh, with the brainstorming, that's fine. Get them to do an imperfect brainstorm. I wonder what they're protecting over there. All right, and we can take a look at their hand here. I am going to take the Prismatic Ending. It doesn't look like they have much going on over there. They may very well have... Yeah, I think I'm just going to play out this, and I'm going to play out the Tameo. Next turn I can attack and I can ponder and I can crack the clue to flipper. So this is what like blue-black tempo does, is it just kind of overloads your opponent's threats. Oh, they don't have a 3-drop. I figured maybe they put like a Narset or a Teferi on top. So I am pleasantly surprised that they did not. I think it's worth going ahead and just flipping Tamiyo here. I'm going to start by pondering. I'd love to find a Bowmasters. I don't think this is worth keeping. I don't need that wasteland. I've got plenty of lands. I'm going to shuffle. I think I'm going to play this out, and then I'm going to attack. And then we can crack the clue. So the reason I'm doing it this way is if they have removal or something, I want them to burn it on Tamiyo so that my frog can live. And of course, we drew the best card in our deck against our opponent. I don't think that they would keep back to basics, considering what's in our deck. I think it's quite likely that Ruination here? 4th? That's fine. They're not going to like 4th once my Bowmasters are out. So they got 2 beaters here. They're swinging in with... Okay. These are both going... One at me, one at Tamiyo. Yeah, that's fine. So they're going to get the Monarchy, but I'm going to be able to take it right back with Bowmasters next turn. And they're going to be penalized for having that Monarchy. Okay, I think what I can do here is... I think I'm in a position where I can play out... Is there anything to hit with Emperor of Bones? I don't think there is. They're not even close to using the ability. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play out Psychic Frog as a blocker. And I will be ready to Bowmaster in step. Or, yeah, like Bowmaster is really strong against them because it puts a lot of bodies into play. And it pings them every time they draw off the Monarch. Temporary Lockdown. When Temporary Lockdown, exile each non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less until Temporary Lockdown leaves the battlefield. Yeah, that's fine. That sucks for me. It takes my Tamiyo out. It's a good card. I saw this deck online and I was like, wow, that's great. Like that's a card that when it was printed, everybody was like, yeah, this isn't that great. And it wasn't that great at the time, but now it's good. I'm gonna go ahead and ping them. So we'll go ahead and grab our basic here. And next turn, we are going to steal the Monarchy, and I will be impressed if they can easily steal it back. They're going to need 2 forms of removal here to stop us. All right. Force of Negation is a great rip. All right, I'm just going to take the Monarchy here first. I think if we hold the Monarchy, we win. Okay. Not sure why that triggered. Oh, that triggered for each of the attackers that did damage. All right, so options. 1, we can ponder. I think that's good because we definitely want to keep Force Negation up. I don't need to cast out a frog. I've got like a huge edge right now, just with the board as it currently is. I am very interested in this Force of Will as a second point of interaction. And then we're just going to hold the Monarchy and run away with the game. I should have drawn the land. That was bad. Yeah, I should have drawn the land and then drawn the land off my ponder, and then I could have drawn the force off of the top of my deck. Okay, Narset. I think we just counter this, and then if they force, we can force back. Okay, well, really don't like Narset here. See, as your last card, probably still a land. I don't know if they played all these lands out. They've played out all of these lands, I believe. So their hand is unknown, but it apparently wasn't something that could stop me there. So this is one of the reasons why I'm not like super high on 4th Aerolingus right now. It's pretty embarrassing when you lose the Monarchy and your opponent is able to just chill, basically, and like hang back. So I want to keep this in hand because I need to be able to play something out to regain the Monarchy if they take it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and fetch now. See what I want to get off this. I will keep that on top of my library just as another thing that I can, potentially use to get the Monarchy back. Okay, they're fetching. All right. So Bowmasters is both helping us hold the Monarchy and is punishing them if they take the Monarchy back somehow. Stress sounds fine. It's going to draw them a card. They can potentially brainstorm. They can potentially Loring Revealed if they have more mana. They can do a lot of things while Orcish Bowmaster is shut off. If they have another Fourth Aerolingus, that would be very scary. Teferi is good, but and they could bounce temporary lockdown and recast it, but that's like a multi-turn line. Also, I would ping Teferi when they do that. So they're in a tough spot here. Oh, can they recast it? They don't have the mana. All right, they may draw the mana. Oh yeah. Okay, they didn't draw the mana. They were hoping to high roll the land draw. I think that would explain the play. Okay, wow. So this just backfired catastrophically for them. I mean, that's like the most comical of draws. All right, let's take that temporary lockdown out of your hand, and let's kill you. I will attack. Let's see. This is going to attack hard. I'll attack Heart Attack Muffin with this. I'll attack with this. This will attack them, and then I'll attack the Teferi with Orcish Bowmasters. All right, we're going to create a clue. We're going to draw a card. I guess I go ahead and flip Tameo now. I will play that out. I'll flip Tameo now because I won't be able to use her ability if I flip her later from the Monarch. But we're very much in the driver's seat here. Like, it's difficult to imagine a card they could rip off the top of their hand that could reverse their fortune here. I feel like that Fourth Aerolingus play, Bowmasters is just too strong against them. Good games. We're 2-0. Let's go to round 3. These have been some quick games. So I'll just add a couple quick comments about that matchup. Like, Strix was doing a lot of work in game 1. The fact that it was attacking in, like, my Strixes probably did at least 7 or 8 points of damage, and they immediately recouped a card, and they were just like an annoying permanent that my opponent would be down a card if they tried to remove it. So Strix is very good, even though we had that tempo aspect to our deck. And there was also a situation where, had Frog resolved, I could have pitched the Strix, buffed my Nethergoyf, and buffed my Frog at the same time. And it would have double buffed Nethergoyf. So yeah, I'm feeling really strong about this build so far. But again, the first opponent scooped really quickly, and the second opponent was, we had the Bowmasters for them. So we'll see how this shakes out. All right, round 3, we are up against a player who's only played Sneak and Show. I think this is pretty good. Like, I don't mind the double Nihil Spellbombs. That's what they're there for. Just occasionally win us matches against graveyard strategies and to fuel the Nethergoyf. I think we keep this. They are mulliganing to 6 cards. If they mulligan to 5, I'm definitely going to leave with the Nihil Spellbomb rather than the Tameo. Actually, you know what? I don't mind just leading with the Nihil Spellbomb. I know that might sound crazy, but if you think about it, like, there are so many decks that this Nihil Spellbomb just solos right now. Yeah. Since I don't have a force, I think Nihil Spellbomb will do a lot to protect us from, the worst possible outcomes here. And I can go ahead and get an island as well, just in case they have some sort of, if they're on like Moon Stompy or something, it's a good precaution. I am very sheepish with my basics. Like, I like to always fetch them early on. Okay, Thundering Falls. So this is definitely giving me Sneak and Show vibes. I don't think any other decks play that deck except for like Storm and Sneak and Show. Okay. So what we're going to do here, I think we Psychic Frog just to maximize our likelihood of drawing into a force next turn. Their deck is not famous for playing a lot of removal, but this might draw a counter. Yep, that's great. It did its job. The Hymn to Torok effect. They pitched a Brainstorm. All right, so they do have, Vesuvian Drifter. I'm not scared of that. I'm kind of scared of it, but like, it's not the end of the world. Let's see if they have anything scary on top. They chose not to reveal, so they probably just have a land or some non-creature. Nethergoyf is good. The fact that we don't have a land. Okay, so options. 1, we can play out Emperor. Emperor can't attack in, but next turn it can create a frog and potentially jump the frog, discard a bunch of cards, and attack in. I think if they had a better option, they would have used it last turn rather than playing out Vesuvian Drifter. So I think they likely don't have Show and Tell. So I am going to go ahead and play out our 2 1-drops here. I think this Nihil Spellbomb is a dead card. I will just cycle it as soon as I have mana available. Okay, so this is kind of scary because they could Show and Tell here. Or they could sneak attack here. All right. Emrakul. No Gristlebrand. All right, they're not even attacking. That's fine with me. All right, we got the land we were looking for. We can flip Tamiyo this turn. I don't think that's terrible. So I'm going to start by just seeing what we draw here. Because if we draw a Wasteland, that's probably worth using. Okay, we drew a Delta. Don't think that matters. I'm just going to play out this Swamp in case... It doesn't really matter. I guess I could have played that out. But I can use this to fetch Surveillion next turn. All right, I'm just going to swing in. Okay. Stack with both creatures. Hopefully this draws a Force. They could be playing Daze. Definitely a possibility. Let's see if they block for some reason. I don't think they will. They're pretty low in life, considering that we've really just attacked like twice. Strix doesn't do anything here, but I'm happy to have her flipped. Go ahead and plus her. And even if they attack, it's only going to knock 1 loyalty off. We just have to fade them having something insane on the top of their deck. Cantrips are also potentially offensive here. Okay, they're not using it. They're not attacking? Okay, they are attacking. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Baleful Strix does make it a little awkward for them. Man, we're not getting a break on these lands. Options. 1, we play out the Strix and just see what we draw. I think that's a fine play. If for some reason they counter this, it does make Nethergoyf bigger. Okay, Force is great. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plus... well, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I think it's fine to play out Emperor of Bones here. So let's get that on the table. And then during the attack step, I'm going to go ahead and exile my frog. Wait, if I exile my frog, my Nethergoyf is weaker. Let's do that next turn. Okay, okay, so I'm not going to exile anything. Okay, they get a trigger. Okay. Now I can attack, and I'll just pass. Oh, wait, I need to plus Tamiyo, of course. It's always very embarrassing when I forget to do that. Even though I don't think it's likely that she's going to play a big part in this game, you never know. So next turn, I can basically get a free draw off the Psychic Frog. Vexing Bauble is vexing indeed. I think we just let that go and hope that they're going to draw through it. Yes, they are drawing through it. I can't wait to have Bowmaster in next game. Yeah, their AB combo, this is the fail rate on their deck. Please don't be something good. Okay, they're not using it. They're not attacking in. This is good. I can actually attack them with the Strix next turn. Okay. So, options. 1, we could... we might be able to find... This is a 3-drop. We might be able to find a Fatal Push, which would make this a little bit less scary. Brazen Borrower is pretty good. I don't think that Wasteland is particularly strong here. I'm going to put back Wasteland, and I'm going to put back Nihil Spellbomb. That doesn't matter. So we've got Force Blue card up. We've got the ability to Surveil. Yeah, I think we just attack in with everything. So unfortunately, I can't actually... Emperor of Bones has to exile the turn like before combat. I think I'm just going to attack with Emperor of Bones. I'm not going to... I can adapt later. Yeah, I think I'm not going to adapt it. Or I'm not going to target anything. I guess I got to target that technically. Okay, I didn't target it. I failed to target it because I was clicking around and things were jumping around the screen and I got distracted. Oh wait, it worked. Okay, I did eat their bobble there. Again, probably a 0 impact on the game. Go like that. This just forces damage through. I'll happily adapt my Emperor here. Adapt. Okay, so now it's a 4/4 and it should kill Vesuvian Drifter. So I think that was a bad block. Well, maybe they're just trying to preserve life. I don't know what's in their hand. Okay, I'm feeling pretty large and in charge. And next turn, I'm going to draw half my deck. The fact that we have Borrower up and Force up feels pretty good. All right, they concede. Wow, that was spectacular in the sense that like they didn't hit any of their AB. Like I was just extremely lucky. I think I played pretty disciplined. I don't think I hemorrhaged anything. But yeah, I think Orcish Bowmasters comes in. I think this Fatal Push is bad. I don't really care about killing their Vesuvian Drifter. It's not like a real threat in my humble opinion. It's pretty bad. I don't think Consign comes in. We didn't see any reason to suspect Consign would be good. I don't think it's worth consigning like a Vexing Bauble or anything. I think the other cards that can come out are probably, well, Grafdigger's Cage, cards in graveyards and library. I don't think that matters. I think Nihil Spellbombs can come out. Harbinger might actually be decent. I mean, if they get greedy for some reason. It is something that beats face. Yeah, I'll put one of these in. All right, so you'll note that I'm trimming really low on artifacts. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. Yeah, I don't see anything else that's relevant here. I'm just going to run like this with 22 creatures. We're going to beat some face here. And we are keeping the dazes in because it's like basically a pure combo matchup, AB combo. All right, no lander. This is a Force plus Psychic Frog hand. I think we keep this. And I'm going to bottom the Verdant Catacombs. My reasoning, they could have like a quick Blood Moon effect, and I want to make sure I have the swamp in hand. I'm going to fetch Island opening. This deck, it does occasionally play. I'd love to get blue card. Great. All right. So now what I can do is I can ponder, and I can pitch Psychic Frog if necessary to force. But what I'd like to do is set up a second interaction point, like a daze would be good here. Oh, well, that's great. So we don't really want these other cards, but I think it's fine. I'll draw. So I'll draw the Delta last, and I'll draw the daze right now. And the reason for keeping that, where I really only liked one of the cards, is the daze could potentially be extremely powerful here. This is fine. So I never try to daze like a naked brainstorm like that, thinking that they aren't going to find a land. If they brainstorm lock themselves, that's great, but that's unlikely to happen. Ancient Tomb. Okay, 2 mana. This could be it's fine. I'm just going to pretend like I don't care. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't daze it. All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't force it, is what I meant to say. Okay, so we're all in on these frogs now. Actually, they're so, they could be low on mana. I think we take the tomb. That brainstorm seemed like maybe they were low on land. That's just my instinct. If they just play another Ancient Tomb, I'll feel dumb, but, I feel dumb. Okay, options. They probably won't expect a hard cast daze here, but they could easily just have another land. I think it's fine to play out the Psychic Frog and hope that they don't have it. If they have it, they have it. I guess I could have gotten card selection by just waiting there. We know this isn't going to get forced. I think it's highly likely that they have something here, but King Bowels, this is great for me. Please crack the other one. Okay, they didn't crack it. Maybe they found what they needed. This could be a lot of things. Very scary. We're probably dead now. I don't have any Hydroblast. I think I removed the Hydroblast. This is one of the few matchups where Hydroblast is really good, in my opinion. Okay, options. 1, we just dump our hand and we attack them and hope to hit them hard. 2, we don't really need to play any other lands. There's not a lot to be done here. Playing Tamiyo is very aspirational in my humble opinion. I don't think we're going to make it to that stage of the game. They likely have either Atraxa or Gristlebrand or maybe Archon and most likely Emrakul. And we have 0 ways to interact. It doesn't matter. Like, these cards in our hand don't matter anymore. I think the best thing we could find is a Brazen Borrower. And doing damage to them is not the worst. So I'm going to literally discard everything except the second Psychic Frog. I'll probably play that out. And my goal is to basically kill them next turn. So we're hitting them for 7 here. Next turn, well, I mean, they're definitely dead. I didn't need to pitch that many cards. So they're going to take 6. Well, actually, they're not necessarily dead here. Let's see if we draw. Down to 10. Bowmasters. Okay. This is crazy, but if they Gristlebrand, we can kill them. No, wait, we can't. I'm gonna definitely Bowmasters rather than cast my Frog here. If they crack the Bauble looking for something, that'll be a hit. Okay, what is this? How dead are we? Traxa, nothing we can do, but it's worth noting that actually, do we have anything that can interact with this? We get to see more of their deck. Okay, so they saw another Atraxa. They saw a Bloodwind. They do have Bloodwind, as I suspected. Emrakul. Yeah, we can. There's nothing to see here. We can clean this up because they've got a Scalding Tarn to get the second land. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to game 3. And we'll be very favored game 3. We didn't show them that we have Bowmasters. They really didn't see that much of our deck that they didn't see game 1. Yeah, I still don't see any cards that we want to bring in. Harbinger might actually be worth playing another one just because I think it's better than Emperor. It's a blue card that pitches to Force. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then we will definitely get our 2 basics out. I think we're well positioned to beat this deck, though. Because I think Thoughtseize is really strong. The fact that we have 6 Forces. The fact that we have Nethergoyf, which can do some serious damage quickly. It's annoying that I can't use hotkeys to click yes here. For some reason, like sometimes you just can't use these hotkeys. So you have to move over there. Okay, this is a Force hand. It's got double Wasteland, but I am not going to keep... yeah, I think it's a trap. This is a good hand. They kept 7. I think we open Island Ponder. What are we putting back? Well, I'm not going to go any deeper. I think this is fine. I think it'd be a mistake to go deeper. I'm going to keep... Brazen Borrower is kind of like the emergency panic button. I'd rather have access to good cards in general. I think Borrower's going to be the one to go. Yeah, and maybe comment if you think that was a mistake. I would love actually your thoughts. Put a timestamp and tell me what you think. Whether this was a good keep, whether I should have mulled the 5 looking for a Force, knowing that they could have Vixen Bauble. Should I be getting a Underground Sea here, knowing that they have Bloodwind in their deck, or should I just play it safe and get the island and hope that I can find the second source? I think I'm going to play it safe. All right, this is the nuts. Absolute stone cold nuts. If we can find a black source. Now I'm really punished for not finding a black source, by the way. I think we keep this even though we don't have the card that we need. I'm going to put Psychic Frog on the bottom. I'll draw the Force now. And then what I can do is next turn, I can waste their land and draw through a little bit more. And then I can hopefully brainstorm into a black source. Okay. They're moving quickly here. Wow. Could this be the turn 1? I think it's quite likely that this is a turn 1, and I think it's quite unlikely that I'm able to stop it. That sucks. Thoughtseize still plays if we can find it. I'm going to aggressively dig next turn to find Thoughtseize, or to find a land to go with my Thoughtseize. There's no point in wasting. I'm not going to wait around, that's for sure. I'm going to put this Force back probably. There. Thank goodness. Okay, so we don't need Redundant Frog. I don't think Wasteland's particularly strong here. What do we put back? Do we put back Force? I think we put back Force because, I mean, they got the bubble out. We definitely don't need this many frogs. Okay. I'm not feeling favored here, but I'm going to feel a lot better once I've stripped hopefully the show and tell and or sneak attack out of their deck. There won't be an and. It'll be a show and tell or a sneak attack, but I'll try to get one of them. Okay, they are going to brainstorm away. So they have a good card in their hand that they want to protect. That's bad news. The fact that they're willing to use a pedal to brainstorm tells you like how dire the situation is. So we're probably dead next turn. So we're probably going to take a monster if we see it. They probably hit their enabler. They might have hit both sides of it, but that means they have to take an extra turn to draw it. Well, that's terrible. Well, I think I'm going to take the brainstorm because the brainstorm is the one with they can put back the land. Yeah, I'll take the brainstorm here because we already know that they have some cards they want to hang on to. And I mean, it could be that, well, I can't think of a reason for brainstorming there unless they wanted to hide information. So they're probably taking show and tell, and then they're going to dig for, or they're probably taking a show and tell or a sneak attack, and then they're going to have to dig for the second part. Do they shuffle? They're going to shuffle soon, but they might have the second card lined up, so they may not shuffle here. There is kind of like a bullying play I can do here where I force them to shuffle. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to set a stop in their upkeep. And I am going to play out Psychic Frog. I think that's the right play here because we do need to draw cards, and hitting them with Bowmasters will hurt them, but it won't necessarily stop them. And then if they don't fetch before their upkeep, I'm going to force them to fetch by wasting their Misty. And the reasoning being that they have a card on top that they want to keep. Okay. They're fetching, which they have to do basically, but we may get them to fetch away something that is good there. And of course, they could just organically draw, the card they need off the top. But this reduces, like, it was probably certain that they had something good in their hand, and now it's less certain. Okay, nothing I can do about this. Bowmasters is coming in. If this is an Emrakul, we are going to be sad panda. Oh, it's a sneak attack. Okay, well, Atraxa would definitely be bad here. Emrakul would be worse. Okay, Atraxa. We may still be able to win. I don't think it's likely, but it's yeah. And I don't think anything could have saved us here. Vexing Bauble is just extremely strong against this deck. Let's see what they keep. They may keep Blood Moon. That was one of the cards that was flipped here. Well, actually, they'll almost certainly keep it because it's probably the only enchantment. So they kept Sneak Attack, Ancient Tomb, Atraxa, and Pyroblast. Let's clean up all this, shall we? So Sneak Attack, Ancient Tomb, Atraxa, and Pyroblast. And they could just Atraxa again. But I think we might get a turn before they do. They gain a bunch of life here. There's nothing I can do to disrupt their mountain. So, like, probably the worst draw on my deck would be the Merfolk. Okay, it's dead. All right, so this is our chance to hit with Frog and draw a card, but that's all Frog's going to do, sadly. If we happen to somehow draw, even if we happen to draw Brazen Borrower, it's not going to matter because they can just sneak attack again next turn. All right, I think we just attack with everything and see what we draw here. Next turn, they're going to be able to hit me for 7. So Atraxa, like, I'm basically dead. I'm almost kind of worried to like crack the Scalding Tarn because it'll take me off force, but I don't think they're ever going to crack this bauble. Yeah, I'll just draw a card here. How dead are we? Oh, this was that card I told you I didn't want to draw. I think we play out the second Frog because they're going to blow one of them up for sure. And then at least we get another draw next turn. And then I can Surveil to manipulate what my next draw is a little bit. Yeah, I don't think Bowmaster is going to save us. They've got so much life. Okay, here comes Atraxa. I think we're dead. I'm just going through the motions here. All right, let's see. Show and Tell, Ponder. They have Emrakul. I'm going to concede. Yeah, they can just put Emrakul in and wipe our board. Yeah, that's disappointing. But I mean, this deck, I feel like we're well positioned to beat it. And again, like, I blame myself because maybe I should have mulled more aggressively. I don't think forcing the Vexing Bauble was correct. I can't even remember if that was an option, but I almost never force this. Like, I feel terrible if I force it usually. I'll force it against certain decks that are like all in, like Ruby Storm and stuff, especially if I have a second force. But I don't think it's correct to force there. All right, we're back for round 4. We are 2-1, and we are up against Blue-Black Scam, or Blue-Black Reanimator. This looks like a pretty standard build. It's a scary deck. It's only 17 lands, but they do have the 4 trolls, so I don't think we're going to be able to bully their mana base. I think most likely we're just going to need to get a hand that has the Nihil Spellbomb. Unfortunately, I'm not going to keep this no-lander. There we go. Playing 3 of them and drawing 2 of them. That's fine. Excellent. Okay, so I think what we do is probably put back the Wasteland. It's just not good here, in my humble opinion. Yeah, because it feels bad to put back a land, but it's a colorless land. All right. And so far, everything they've done does confirm that they are on blue-black. A land would be fantastic here. They are playing my... Please make me famous. Vasto Souza says. Okay, so I think as bad as it feels, I think we just need to ponder here instead of deploying our Nihil Spellbomb, because we are really screwed if this gets wasted and we don't have a follow-up land. I mean, this seems super passive. Are they going to Entomb and reanimate immediately? I think it's possible. I think the possibility of them having a wasteland is more probable, though. So I am going to ponder and find a land. And we found 2 lands. This is great. So what I'll do is I will just... yeah, I think Tamio is a perfectly fine pitch here. I'm not going to play on basics. I'm just going to just jam my Underground Seas. And the turn after I jam Underground Sea, I am going to jam a Surveil land as well. All right, Wasteland. Just like I was worried. And this doesn't mean that they don't have another Wasteland. So I definitely feel vindicated in that ponder. I mean, technically I think I would have drawn a land by now, but I feel a lot better having the second land. Unfortunately, if we fetch here, we lose the land that we have on top. I think we just have to kind of hold, as bad as that feels. We do have daze protection, so they will be unlikely to daze us, they'll probably respect daze here, because they know if they watch the channel, they know I play a lot of blue-black control. Okay, good. They're surveilling. That's such a relief, unless they surveil in the tracks end of the yard. It sucks to have to play so passively when I just want to beat face with Nethergoyf, but this deck cannot be underestimated. It is the top deck in the format, in my opinion. Anime did. Okay, good. Always happy to see reanimation effects go into the yard. Although maybe I shouldn't be, considering that I've got double Nihil Spellbomb here. All right. So again, as much as I want to play out these creatures, I am just going to be slow and deliberate here, and I am going to play out the Nihil Spellbomb. And I'll see whether they counter the Nihil Spellbomb. So, as I said, I'm not going to play around. I'm not going to play like a coward. I'm going to go with non-basics here. We're going to play the Spellbomb. This should shut off a lot of what their deck is capable of doing in terms of really scary things. There's no reason to play out the Undercity Sewer anyway here. I'd rather have the information when I surveil as to whether they're going to counter this, because if they counter this, it means they almost certainly have another reanimation effect. But I think we can probably just discern that from the fact that they pitched an animate dead into the yard. I think they're definitely going to be inclined to force this, and they agree. So options. We can just let this go, and we can fight over whatever their next play is. They still don't have a monster in the yard. I think I'm going to just fight over whatever would put a monster in the yard. Let's see. This is pretty good. I think this will be relevant. Is it going to be relevant? If I put it in the graveyard, I think it's fine to put it in the graveyard. It's an instant for the Goyf. I mean, that Nihil Spellbomb being in the graveyard is pretty good for us. Okay, do we fight over the reanimation effect? I think we do. That, but just by pausing the way I did, they probably have a pretty good indication that I have a Force of Will in my hand. Yeah, if they're able to bring that back, we're in serious trouble. They've got plenty of land. I'm glad I pitched that Daze. All right, this is it. Force. If they have either a Daze or a Force or a backup, they don't have it. Better lucky than good. My goodness, I feel super lucky here. Okay, so what we can do, we're definitely deploying this Spellbomb. And I think we can play out this Nethergoyf, which is going to be freaking huge. And we're going to start beating face. And I'm okay with not being able to draw off of Nihil Spellbomb here. If we need to, if they hurl some sort of reanimation effect. Thoughtseize is fine. This will grow my Goyf even further. And they took the frog, which is fine. Again, like Nethergoyf is all I need to win. I just need for them to not have something like super broken. That's a good card. I think we go ahead and attack with it. And now I can not only wipe their graveyard, but I can also draw a card off of it. I think that's better use than Strixing here. Also, Strix will be a force if we need it. They're on a 2-turn clock here. And they're not even going to be able to fetch. They're basically on a 1 turn. Oh, wow, we got lucky. I think we got lucky there. Especially the fact that we had a mole and we were on the draw. All right, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so what? Oh, okay, no. That's just, that's not winning the match. I don't know why this is still showing up. They didn't scoop, did they? Okay, good. Yeah, because I want to have a match 3. I don't want any more scooping the match things. I don't think my opponent would do that, so they seem excited to play. All right, Grafdigger's Cage. Great card here. Long goodbye. Also pretty strong. I do think Bowmasters is good here. I mean, I'd love to board it in. Cards that I think are bad on the draw are Force of Will. Like, I know that sounds like, well, you're playing against a combo deck. And I'm sure there will be people who think that I, deserve to lose when I board out my Force of Wills. But I genuinely think it's not that strong if they're not comboing. I'd much rather just control their graveyard. And we have 4 cards to do that. 5, technically, with Emperor. Cards that can come out. I don't want to pull my Fatal Pushes because we have to respect the fact that they can win. I do kind of want to pull out a Wasteland. I don't think I'm going to waste it all. But I think pulling a second Wasteland would probably be greedy, just cutting too thin. We could take out a push since we have the long goodbye. I think it is a little bit safer. They don't have any, like the only creature in their deck. Okay, so generally these decks, okay, let's take a look at their deck. This is the very standard build. So they have Tamiyo and Psychic Frog, both of which I'd rather have long goodbye generally to deal with because Tamiyo can get killed by long goodbye even if she's a planeswalker. And then everything else in their deck is like too big to hit with it anyway. They barely have any creatures. So yeah, I think we just cut a, we're just swapping one of our pushes for a long goodbye here. And we're ready. Bob's our uncle. This deck has absolutely been, the deck we're up against has absolutely been cleaning up in major tournaments. Okay, this is great. We've got Grafdigger's Cage, which I am going to attempt to slam on the table. This hand is otherwise strong. I'm just going to give it a minute, make them think that I had to think really hard about this. Okay, I'm going to keep. Again, we're both playing pretty quickly. Like, I'm playing super quickly. I think I don't know what it is. I just came back from like a business trip and like my brain is like racing. So maybe I'm playing faster than normal. Another insane rip. The question is, do we lead with a basic here? I mean, the fact that they fetch Swamp kind of makes me think that maybe they do have, I want to have a Swamp too. And if they stop my blue, that's okay. Black is the key color that I need here to win. I love how black the deck is. Like, most decks don't have the ability to like printing of Nethergoyf is great because Delver of Secrets was kind of like a power crept out card that we just kept around because it was like a, what else were we going to do? Okay. So this means to me that like, they didn't have a force. I think they almost certainly would have forced that, but they could have Brazen Borrower. But that's a multi-turn line. They have to borrow and then they have to reanimate. And this is not the scariest thing in their deck. Tamiyo's fine. I'm not that scared by her. and they can't brainstorm immediately, so I get an extra turn. I think what I want to do here is attempt to Emperor. The other thing I could do is I could play out Strix, which will force them pretty much to flip Tamiyo, which is good for me. If they counter this, it makes Nethergoyf gigantic. I think I'm going to go for Emperor of Bones. It's just too much upside if this resolves. This might be greedy because it can get dazed. I mean, I would definitely counter this if I were them. Oh, they don't have the ability to counter it. All right, that works out well. Let's exile this. Next turn, we can hit him for 10. My friend Dayton, who plays up at Boardwalk Games every Thursday night, if you're in Dallas, come by. He was playing a deck that was mono black with Emperor of Bones and Troll, and he was hitting me for like 10 on turn 3 by adapting and like swinging with the Troll. It was brutal. All right, yeah, this is fine. If I draw a land, I am going to attempt to live the Emperor of Bones dream here and hit him for 10 and also deploy the Nethergoyf. Emperor of Bones just can solo this deck. I mean, they can still get around it by like Entomb during their main phase and then like Reanimate, but Emperor of Bones is really strong. You can see like the amount of respect that I'm paying is paying off because we were able to remove their threat, even though they did kill it in a 1-for-1. The fact that we removed their Troll is a big deal because that's like, if they clear this, that was their monster that they were going to potentially reanimate. So I think here, no matter what happens, probably just going to deploy the Strix just to slow down Tamiyo. Oh, Tamiyo flipped. Can't deploy the Strix anymore. They've got the cool art Tamiyo. I was thinking about buying these, but I was in Japan and the regular ones were expensive enough. Everything, by the way, if you ever want to go play in Japan, like try to take the cards you need with you because they're super expensive. Whether you're getting Japanese or English. I mean, obviously, if you're getting Japanese, it's probably about the same price as the Japanese ones in the States. All right. So we don't have to worry too much about her. I think, though, it makes more sense to deploy a Frog just to present a real threat to Tamiyo here. The other option is long goodbye. So I think I'm going to Ponder. And then I can Nethergoyf. It might make sense to Nethergoyf first and then Ponder, just because if they daze something, I want them to daze my Ponder. Nethergoyf. They have 4 cards. They have the clue, so they can draw into their 5th card. Okay, now the Ponder, which is going to buff the Nethergoyf. I could have definitely played out the Wasteland there. These cards, unfortunately, don't do it. I'm going to shuffle. What am I looking for? I'm looking for long goodbye. I'm looking for more lands. I mean, I don't really want to play this Wasteland. I will play it out, but it's not good. Should I waste them? I think I waste them. Just to restrict their options a bit, because it does make it harder for them to crack the clue. And I like, my hand is mono colored pips, so I definitely need to play those out. The good news is Tamiyo is not going to be able to stop Nethergoyf for much longer. All right. They're fetching, and they got the basic. They could have the Harbinger. Well, the Harbinger doesn't do anything against me. It would actually be really bad if they Harbingered here. They're doing an imperfect brainstorm, which is notable because like these games, like every single little card selection you can get matters a lot. They may have just such a stacked hand. They're like, I don't even have anything to put back, which is a great place to be. But the fact that we restricted their mana might have cornered them into doing that because they know they want to crack this clue. They might regrow the Fatal Push, which is fine because it puts Tamiyo out of range of her ultimate, which is what I'm more worried about. Psychic Frog is not that scary. Actually, yeah, if I Psychic Frog of my own, then I can attack and maybe they'll pitch a bunch of cards and I can make Nethergoyf big enough that they can't. Because let's see, we pitch this and if they pitch their hand, it becomes a 4/5, and this would be a 4/5 with the Strix in the yard. Yeah, I think we are going to need to attack though, in spite of the Psychic Frog. All right, Brainstorm. Long Goodbye would be great. Long Goodbye could remove the Frog. Fatal Push could also remove the Frog. Let's see. Oh, actually, we don't have an instant in the graveyard. I think I'm going to go for this because if we can find a land and if they don't have days, it's really good for me. Okay, so we found a land. I don't need this second land. I probably do want this second Psychic Frog just in case they stop this one. Right now, I'm going to go get my... I'll just get an Underground Sea. It doesn't matter, actually. I'm trying to think of a situation where it might matter and I might kick myself for this fetch decision. I think it's fine to... Yeah, let's get this. Please don't daze me, bro. That's like don't tase me. Like the Star City Games, one year they published like don't daze me. They may have taken their dazes out on the draw. I'll be very happy if they did. Okay, so now I'm going to attack a Tameo. And I will be ready to pitch a Strix here. If necessary. To kill the frog. I don't think that'll matter. But they'll have to pitch their entire hand here. I'm pretty sure they block. Okay, they're fetching. Do they have Fatal Push? Fatal Push. Oh, they're just surveilling. This is a great game. Like, this is really fun. I mean, I do think their deck is like super duper powerful, and frog maybe it should be banned if like it's going to empower this kind of deck building. Or their deck is just so efficient. I mean, I would be totally fine with them instead banning Entomb. Like it was banned for many years, and for some reason they decided to unban it. But Entomb, like without Entomb, this deck would not be viable in my opinion. The deck they're playing. Okay, they're putting some counters on it. Are they going to put any more? All right. I'm going to force them to discard another card. I don't know what's in their hand, but my Goyf is bigger now. Wait, is it not bigger? Yeah, it's 4, so they have to discard one more if they want to save their frog, which I presume they do. Hopefully it's like a really good card. A Barragoyf. Okay, yes. We got them to discard their Barragoyf. I'm fine with that. Okay, and they're going to hit me for a lot here, and they're going to draw a card and stuff, but I'm almost certain that I can kill a Tameo on the backswing. Like, they may have to keep their Psychic Frog back for defense. That was, like, absolutely crucial that I drew the Ponder and that it lined up, or what was it? The Brainstorm, and that I was able to get an instant in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm feeling amazing here. I even if we don't win this game, next game we're going to be on the play. They're cracking the clue. So they do have Frog Supremacy, and, like, my Nethergoyf is definitely going to die if it attacks in, but I don't see what option I have. Oh. So next turn, I'm definitely going to ponder, and I'm going to try to find Fatal Push, because I think it's unlikely that they have Force Blue card right now. It's possible. And I think they probably, obviously the best card in my deck right now is, what's it called? Goodbye. Long Goodbye. If we get Long Goodbye, then, probably GG. Because Nethergoyf is really strong. Like, their Psychic Frog is big, but it can't really attack. Because Nethergoyf is going to crack back and do a lot of damage. They're thinking pretty hard about whether they want to regrow something, maybe. They're probably going to attack first, which makes perfect sense. I don't think I want to lose my hand here. I'm just going to take it. So I do think it's likely that they regrow something with Tameo here instead of trying to go up, because Tameo is completely vulnerable here. Regrowing a push would be really strong here. But regrowing a Brainstorm isn't bad either. I did board in my Bowmasters. Yep, and as I predicted, they are regrowing the Fatal Push. It's one of the reasons Tameo is insane. Like, every turn you can regrow a removal spell and just constantly keep your opponent on the ropes. Okay, so assuming they don't have another Fatal Push, I think we can take Tameo down here, which makes me feel a lot better. I think it's fine to just attack Tameo and see what happens. We do have days if they have a Fatal Push. So they're really hoping to get all the way with Frog. So let's see if we can find something to rain on their parade. I like Bowmasters. Is it strong enough? I mean, we play out Bowmasters. We can amass a lot of power. When they attack, we can attack back. They're going to draw cards. It's going to trigger Bowmasters. The second Psychic Frog is good. It's not a bad card. So options. 1, we just play a Psychic Frog and we start attacking and we hope to race them. They have 2 cards in hand, so their frog can become a 6 and we can be dead in basically 2 turns because they'll draw a card and then they'll get another card. I'm not... Oh, wait. Creature cards in graveyards. Let's see. What is this? Okay, so this doesn't affect Psychic Frog at all. It's Ground Seal that affects Psychic Frog. The other option, of course, is we shuffle, and who knows what we find. But worst case scenario, we can play out a frog. I think that's fine. I'm gonna shuffle. All right, we didn't find it, but I'll be interested to see what I'm gonna get here. That can definitely go in the graveyard. All right, well, we tried. I am gonna play this out though, and I'll hold up Daze, both as a card we can potentially pitch to Psychic Frog and as some surprise. Late game Daze usually not the best. I feel really good getting Tamio off the table, but now we have to worry about the Psychic Frog. They're almost... yeah, that sucks. Yep. We are technically racing them, but only like temporarily, because our Nethergoyf is as big as it can get. Their Psychic Frog can continue to grow. If they are able to find a Brazen Borrower, it could potentially be really devastating. Okay, I'm going to ponder, and I'm going to hope to the heavens that there is not a Bowmasters in my opponent's hand. There is. Yeah, that resolves. That is pretty devastating, but we can... Again, Nethergoyf, don't underestimate Nethergoyf's ability to put them in the abyss. These are all bad. All right, do we get a Fatal Push? We get a Fatal Push. Thank goodness. Okay. That's fine. All right. I think we do have to attack, and then I'm going to attack first, and then I'm going to Fatal Push afterward. Because, if they have some sort of way to stop our Fatal Push, we're dead anyway. All right, and technically I should tap that instead of Swamp, but I am kind of worried about time for game 3 because I've slowed down a lot this game because there's a ton of thinking. All right, so they can hit us for 3, and then they can hit us for 3. If they have another Bowmasters, they can kill us pretty quickly here. All right, they are being aggressive. We don't have any other Nethergoyfs in our graveyard. I would love to draw a Nethergoyf here. I think that's our best draw. Another Psychic Frog. Now our best draw is a removal spell for Psychic Frog. Okay, Tamio can block. I am going to play Tamio out. And I feel like I pretty much have to attack with Nethergoyf. I don't think that that's wrong because they can jump the frog. Actually, are we dead? Let's see. They can pitch 3 cards. We're dead if they notice it, but maybe they play around us having some sort of removal spell. I don't know. I think we're dead. Nethergoyf was great here, but and I feel like we drew a lot of removal, but we're seeing the alternate side of the deck that is just a really strong tempo deck in addition to being a really strong combo deck. You shouldn't be able to be both. You shouldn't be able to be like an insane tempo deck and an insane combo deck at the same time. Psychic Frog is how they are able to do this. Okay, so if they attack for lethal with Psychic Frog, I probably will just have to block it. Okay, so if I block with Tamio, they do have to pitch cards, and we do guarantee get another turn. I think that's the play. I'm not going to be drawing clues anyway with Bowmasters. The best draw on my deck is... actually, I can't think of any card that can save me here. Oh, and they have their own Tamio too. So they can throw Tamio in front of my Nethergoyf. I wasn't racing them anyway. Psychic Frog can just jump up and win. They didn't pitch any cards, though. So actually, Psychic Frog, Tamio can hold the fort for one more turn. That's a great rip. I think we attack with Nethergoyf and just Nethergoyf, and then we can kill the Psychic Frog if they try to kill our Tamio. We're at 2. Yeah, actually, we're not winning if we're not attacking. They should block here. I would love for them like Bowmasters, and I can actually convert my Daze. Okay, that's fine. And next turn, we're going to have to turtle up. All right, so I'm going to let them commit to attacking with Psychic Frog. And and trying to kill Tamio before I attempt to do anything. But yeah, actually, I'm going to have to push the frog. Maybe it made sense to attack, to go ahead and push during upkeep, because now they could draw like a force. All right, they're going to attack all. All right, I'm going to go to block. I guess it doesn't matter either way, because if this push fails, I'm dead. Push here before damage. So another, one of my Bowmasters off the top gets me out of this. Unless they have something insane in their hand. They have 3 cards in their hand. I'm just hoping they're cards that are blanked by Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. Yeah, I can't complain about cantrips. I mean, I got 3 cantrips this game too. Okay. And land, which, you know, this late in the game, the land is... Okay, there's the Barragoyf that I can't stop. All right, I don't think there's a way we can win. I do think that ripping Orcish Bowmasters would be good here, though. Yeah, I'm going to concede. All right, and let's see what Game 3 brings us. We're going to be on the play. I mean, I think you can see with that game, like, how bad Force of Will would have probably been. Like, we would have pitched something, and Toxic Deluge is tempting if they're going to have that in. Wow, we really, like... They really had the threats. It makes me want to bring in the 4th Fatal Push. I'm not sure what we cut. Maybe we could cut a Tamio. That feels wrong. It feels wrong, but I'm going to do it. I really do think that we need to be the control deck, even though we're on the play. The other alternative, of course, is I cut the other Wasteland. I mean, it just wouldn't have done anything. You saw how much land they had. And then just hope. Yeah, I think that's better, because Wasteland does so little. It basically helps us cast Orcish Bowmasters, and that's it. And like after the first turn or two, once we've gotten our basics, like we never want to see a Wasteland. So they're playing like, I think like 17 or even 16 lands, but they are playing, yeah, they're playing 17, but they're also playing the, yeah, so we're kind of going to the danger zone here, and I do think it's likely that we'll have to mull. Unpunished. This is a keep. This isn't perfect. There's still a lot of vulnerability here, but I'm going to keep this, and I am going to open with, okay, my opponent will be back momentarily. It's 11:11. Yeah. The witching time. Okay, so our opponent's back, and I believe we bait Wastelands with Ponder, because we have so many lands. We would love for them to take a few turns to just waste us. This is basically the perfect top. So what I'm going to do is I will definitely shuffle next turn, and I'll probably just grab a non-basic. I seriously doubt they would bring in the Harbinger of the Seas here. I just don't see how that would be a correct play. Tame is fine. I'm going to stick a Baleful Strix in front of it in pretty soon. Maybe I should stick the Strix in there now. So I have Daze Protection, and it makes it very hard for them to do anything. I think that's fine. I don't think they're going to be able to combo in one turn with just 2 mana. So I think I will have a chance to play out the Nihil Spellbomb here. All right, we're going to go ahead and Strix. And we will definitely daze a Daze or a Force here, because this Strix is important to stopping Tamio from being able to attack. And it will be a great game piece for at least until they draw Bowmasters. All right, a second Daze. Insane. I feel really rolled up here. Turtled up. I'll feel a lot better once this Nihil Spellbomb's in play, but that can be next turn. And I would love to just Nihil Spellbomb and Strix next turn. That would be just chef's kiss. So they're going to have to attack and then aggressively flip her. And man, I mean, it seems crazy, but I might just like double Daze. No, that can't be right. If they brainstorm here to flip her, I'll definitely Daze if they don't have a land out when they brainstorm. Delta. They are attacking. That is fine. They're getting a clue. They do have the brainstorm. I mean, the sad thing is, like, I don't really have anything that I can do about this. Okay, well, I think it's worth trying. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then when they try to fetch, I can do it a second time. Okay, so now I think we just go ahead and do it a second time. I'm not sure that that's correct. Like, I've never done it like with a fetch on the stack like this. But it definitely forces them to daze back now. And then they get the land. Okay, so they're dazing back. So they are going to flip her, and we're going to be, pretty disadvantaged. Yeah, but we took the chance. And a lot of times when you're on the draw, you don't have the daze in. So they are able to pay for that daze. Okay, and they've used all their mana, and it's going to be an imperfect brainstorm, but they did flip her, which is the big deal. My Strix is not going to be able to do any damage here because she'll almost certainly go upstairs with the Tamiyo. I'm not going to be able to play a Strix. I am going to have to Nihil Spellbomb into a potential daze. They are going to have to discard, which is one thing worth noting. No, wait, they're not going to have to discard because they're going to put cards back. They're looking at cards in their hand. But they won't be able to shuffle any of those away. Tamiyo flips. She pluses. And all right, we're going to have to figure out how to get her off the table. Psychic Frog is definitely a good card for doing that. I'm going to go ahead and play out the Nihil Spellbomb. Hopefully it doesn't get countered. If it doesn't get countered, I'll feel, okay, great. So now Psychic Frog is going to have to come into play and not die. And they've got 1 turn, 2 turns, ultimate. So we really just have like 2 more turns before she ultimates here. We're going to have to put a lot of power. Oh, gosh, that sucks. Yeah, they're definitely going to take Psychic Frog here. Tamiyo is such a good card. Maybe it was wrong to daze there. I mean, obviously, in hindsight, we know that they had the daze. But just think, like, we're able to cleanly kill it and stop their brainstorm. Like, that would have been insane had that worked. All right. I'm amazed that they didn't take the Psychic Frog there. It just doesn't make any sense to me. They must have a Fatal Push. That's the only thing that makes any sense. Okay, so options. 1, we could just do the Bowmaster thing with Tamiyo on the stack, Tamiyo's draw trigger on the stack. But if they have the mana untapped, they can just Bowmaster our Bowmaster. I think it makes sense to go ahead and play this out, and then next turn we can try for that. I'm almost certain they're going to just counter this, though, or that they're going to have a Fatal Push for it. But a Fatal Push burned on a Psychic Frog is a Fatal Push that can't be burned on an Orcish Bowmasters. And if they attempt to draw their entire deck, and we do have Bowmasters on the table, yeah, that's fine. They are going to die. So at this point, they would draw more than 20 cards, which would kill them off of the Bowmaster if they attempt to ultimate next turn. I would love for them to get worried and go down. Yeah, that's not surprising. We have not shown them... Did we show them Bowmasters last game? I don't think we did. So they may not realize we have Bowmasters in our deck, and they may just go for it. All right. That's not what we wanted to see. Maybe we just hope that they don't go for it. I'm almost certain that they're... Yeah, I'll just act like I'm defeated here. They give me the happy face back. So I'm almost certain they're going to try to go for it here. So, I mean, it's unlikely that Bowmasters gets through, but we can hope, right? I mean, ultimating Tamiyo feels so good that I wouldn't be surprised if they went ahead and went for it. They've got 5 cards in their hand. What are the chances that they don't have a way to interact with this Bowmaster? That's 1 fewer card, and that's less mana that they're going to have to interact should they go for it. Yep, I can't stop that. Are you going to ultimate here, or are you going to wait? They waited. They're so disciplined. Okay, yeah. Kudos to my opponent for being disciplined, because I was definitely trying to pretend like the game was over here. Yeah, they're down to 2 cards. I think I just wait. Oh, I should have fetched there. Oh, and I got punished. I drew another land. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely kill one of these Psychic Frogs when it attacks in. They may just be like, oh, well, I can kill them immediately after I draw this. So just waiting a little bit extra time. Playing around Boy, they said. So they definitely know what's up. They know that that's like my one out at this point. I could crack this at any time. And I most certainly am going to do that if necessary. I might do that this turn. They have a third Psychic Frog. That's fine. I'm not going to interact with that. I can't give up the fact that I have Bowmaster. It's literally the only thing keeping me in the game. At any point, if I find Long Goodbye, this game is still a live game. I'm not giving up. They're plussing again. Okay. They're deciding not to attack? Okay. Yeah, they're attacking. I think that's correct. I'll just block one. I should definitely have Bowmastered here. I think, yeah, I am going to Bowmaster. I think it's correct to go ahead and do this. Just to, like, I don't think we can wait any longer. I need to get a board presence. Maybe you could say that I'm, like, giving up on, like, I should have done that first and blocked their actual Psychic Frog here. Okay, so they're plussing here. I mean, it doesn't matter. They can't combo without this thing on the table anyway. I think at this point, it doesn't even make sense to go after Tameo. This Bowmaster is the only thing keeping me in this game. They are going to connect. We're both low on time. So I can hit them for 3 next turn. I'm going to go get my Surveillant here. A Brainstorm would be so insane here. Oh, yeah. We're still in it. We're still in it. Okay. I am not giving up hope. I am an optimistic person. I believe in myself. Parappa the Rappa, you got to believe. All right. So here's what we do. We put back these lands that we don't want. I'll keep this fetch just because it might be useful later. Okay. And then we go boom, Goyf. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and drop another Goyf. Another Nethergoyf. Another Goyf. Okay. Now I'm going to attack. I will just, yeah, because I guess it doesn't make sense. I'm just going to attack them. I don't care about attack Tameo. Like, there's no point. So that's going to get minus here. Okay. And we just need to remember to shuffle before we draw. But these Tarmogoyfs are stacked. And now they're going to have to think twice about attacking in. I feel like this Nihil Spellbomb, like, if I do, like, use it, like, all of a sudden all hell could break loose. And we could find ourselves in an extremely disadvantaged position. Okay, they're regrowing a Fatal Push. This might be the time that I do it. No, because they can pitch like some insane monster. Yeah, I have to just. Oh no! Now they can kill my my Bowmaster here. Yep, they're doing it. I let it happen. Okay, they're brainstorming. Yeah, so the reason. Okay, let me explain my logic there. Should I now spellbomb them? I mean, like, one of the ways I could very easily lose this game, I mean, look at all the cards they're looking at, right? Would be for them to just discard, you know, some monster that they've been chilling in their hand, like an Atraxa or something, and then just immediately reanimate it. So I feel like this Nihil Spellbomb, as bad as it is for Tameo to be back on the menu, it'd be much worse. Okay, they're not attacking. That's fine. They've got plenty of attack power here. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm just going to shuffle real quick. Let's go get, I guess I'll get my Swamp just in case they do somehow like bring out the Harbinger. Okay, we're going to draw. Tameo's not a good draw here. I think we have to attack double at Tameo and force them to discard their hand. Let's say we attack them and ignore Tameo. That can't be right. We have to attack Tameo. And I'll attack Tameo with this too, just because like knocking her down to 1 loyalty is fine. Like, I'm fine if they just do the easy block here. Don't give up their frog. There's the Fatal Push that we knew they had. So now I don't know that they have enough to stop the Nethergoyf from connecting here. Okay, options. We could just go ahead and bomb them here and hopefully draw like a Fatal Push. I don't like that strategy. I'm just going to let them go to combat and figure out what they want to do. They want to discard their entire hand to debuff or to block. They're going to draw their entire hand anyway. Okay, so I am going to knock 1 loyalty off her. It's not going to matter. Or 2 loyalty, actually. Yeah. But it's still not going to matter. Okay, now that this is dead, I do think it's fine to spellbomb them, just to hopefully draw my long goodbye, which would end this game. Psychic Frog is good, but it's not going to save us here. All right, I think we just play out our hand. Sad. Super sad. Oh, they're forcing this. That's fine. I don't care. And then here, I will play this out and fetch just because I don't want to get my Tameo days, but I don't have any illusions of being able to hold in. So basically, we could get into an F6 fight. Would be very rude of me, but I mean, this is like a fan of the channel. I don't want to do this to a fan of the channel, but they're going to have to do a lot of clicking to win here. And we do have not lethal on board, but we have near lethal if they minus here. They know that they can safely minus. They should minus. But they're going to need to get the frog out, and they're going to need to keep it out long enough to attack me. And they're going to have to do it all in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And I don't have to do anything. Like each turn, I basically just, F6 or attack or something. Barrowgoyf is extremely strong here. Yeah, I mean, they should have enough fatal pushes for everything. And they can even reanimate like an Archon or something and kill me that way. Barrowgoyf will not kill, but if they're quick, they can pass priority back to me. And then I have to go through my turn, and then Barrowgoyf can attack and kill frog. Okay, so we're dead to that frog, basically. They just have to click a whole bunch if they want to kill me with that. That doesn't do it. I'm just going to pass. I am going to make them kill me because this is good practice. Like, clicking. They got 17 cards in their deck. Okay, they're growing the frog. This has been a great game. But I am going to make you click. Okay. Okay. So, 6. Okay, they're getting close. There's the fatal push. They're going to need to keep clicking, though. Do they have the Brazen Borrower? Fell. Okay. That is lethal. I think they've got lethal. 2 more cards that they need to pitch. All right. And there we're going out spectacularly. They're going to need to pitch some more cards. That's not lethal, is it? They left us with 2 life. Okay. I don't know why they left us with 2 life. They have 53 seconds. They can definitely kill us. I'm not going to cast that Thoughtseize. I can bring back the Nethergoyf. It doesn't matter. They can just give flight. I'm just going to concede. There's no point in like stringing them along. Like I could get this out, but all they have to do is give flight to it. Yeah, those were great games. And we used the entire clock. All right, let's go to round 5. See if we can salvage the positive record. Like both of our losses were good games for sure. All right, another match against likely the best deck in the format. I think we keep this. I don't want to mulligan against them because every card matters, and we have our mana under us. We have some disruption. Strix is really good in the matchup. Devour. Okay, so Strix is also pretty good against Eldrazi. They may not be playing straight Eldrazi. They may be playing there's like hybrid kind of like 12-post Eldrazi that play Devour now. All right, so they are almost certainly on just straight Eldrazi based on the cards they exiled there. Chalice, Petal, Kozilek's Command. Okay, do they have some sick turn 1 play? I mean, this is scary as heck because they're already fairly close to casting the Devourer of Destiny. If they're on the okay, they pass priority. All right. I guess they don't have It That Heralds the End. Actually, I'm not sure if they can play It That Heralds the End off of that just by itself. I think I'm going to just play this out and I'll pass. Borrower is not the worst, but it's not great against their deck. So I'm not going to bother fetching basics here because I think likely they're going to do the exile your land thing with Sowing Mycospawn. So I'll just get now I am inclined to fetch basics. Okay, and here's the It That Heralds the End. I could just fetch an island and daze this. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, because we could get island, we could daze this. I mean, it's pretty weak play. I I think this is one of the few cards in my deck that I can kill with Fatal Push. Yeah. All right, well, I'm just going to hope that they don't have the Sowing Micah Spawn, and I'm going to fetch my basics. Because the fact that they've got Face Up Wasteland makes me like super unhappy to get wasted. The good news is they don't have Cavern of Souls, so hopefully I can daze their next big play. This will basically trade for one of their cards almost for certain. But, you know, we're 2-for-1ing ourselves when we force their stuff. All right, Yavimaya. Here comes the rain. Sowing Micah Spawn. Okay, it's not kicked. I am going to daze this because I don't really have anything to do with my land anyway. It's just another creature. Yeah, if I daze it now, they can't pay for it and it just dies. I think it's fine. There just aren't that many opportunities to daze stuff. Oh, I forgot. I'm so dumb. Yeah, I have Maya. Okay, they can just pay for it. Yeah, that was a bad play. That was super bad. Okay, I apologize to my audience who were like, why are you even thinking about it? What? There's the Maya there. No, you know. Yeah, super embarrassing. I'm not going to compound that error by forcing this. We have to force the big thing that they cast. And unfortunately, the cast trigger will, on Devourer, will take out my Strix. All right. There's nothing. Oh, that's not the worst. I think I just play it. Yeah, super dumb play. Okay. Draw. I will not attack, I don't think. I don't think it's worth it for the 1 damage. Because they'll get me for 2 if I attack for 1. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a lot of mana. My goodness. Here comes the Devourer probably. If they Sowing Micah Spawn, exile my lands, I'm just going to concede. Okay, here's the Devourer. Yeah, they are going to, as part of their cast trigger, they are going to exile that. That's fine. I think I do need to force this. It's just too big of a body. I think Borrower is pretty weak here. It can't block any of their stuff. That's fine. Okay, why did they tap like that? I guess they don't have anything else to play out. They're not attacking in. Okay, that's good. All right, now is time for the Frog to shine. Let's just hope that they don't have a card that can remove this. Do you want to see what my top draw is? That is definitely not what I want to draw. The cards that I'm interested in drawing would involve Nethergoyfs would be strong. Nethergoyf, like almost always with this deck when I beat an Eldrazi deck, like it's Nethergoyf that's doing the thing. This might be Sowing Micah Spawn. They could waste my Undercity Sewer and get me down to 1 land. Another Devourer, which I can't really stop, and it's got this annoying cast trigger. Yeah, I have to. I let me know if you think it's a mistake to force this at this point. But like, it's a 6/6 body. I mean, it's bigger than anything on the table. Totally outclasses it. Okay, Petal. That's a welcomed reprieve from bombs. When I say bomb, I mean like a card that's just like really big and really powerful. Okay, and they can blow up my Strix next turn if they want. If they don't want to attack into it, it just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? I'm trying to think of like. With this much mana and the ability to just tutor, I think I'm going to concede. There's no point in continuing to play. But it is good to know that they have the 1 ring. Yeah, I don't think that was a premature concession at all because they're going to be drawing like crazy. Okay, so let's see what our board can do here. I think we do have tools. We do have Harbingers. We'll bring those in. And we do have Consigns, which are not as good as you would think they would be, in my humble opinion. Like, and we have Deluge. Deluge is definitely coming in. I think Force comes out, and probably Daze comes out. Like these cards are just not good. The one argument for Force is that it protects Harbinger if we can resolve it. I'm definitely taking out the Daze, but I think we could probably bring in a Force. Now the cards that don't matter are these spell bombs. So we'll take them out. And then we can bring the forces back in. I don't think any of these cards matter. They are playing Chalice, which is a royal pain. So I do think we bring in the keg and we take out one of our fatal pushes because there's just so few things that fatal push can hit. Or we could take out Emperor. Emperor is actually surprisingly good if we can Thoughtseize them. But I don't even think we should be Thoughtseizing them. Well, they have a lot of land. Okay, so here's what they're playing Chalice. Okay, or they're playing One Ring. Okay, that's fine with me. I bring these in. I reduce the number of 1-drops, thus mitigating some. I mean, she's just not that great in the matchup. Like she can't jump or she can't block anything effectively. Any other substitutions we can make here? I mean, I'm not like stunned by Borrower. It's not a great card here, but I don't really want to remove removal. I think Thoughtseize is pretty bad. I think I'm going to cut one. Yeah, because you're like doing damage to get a card out of their hand and like making their job even easier. Because they have a lot of redundant abilities. Like basically it's just lands and bombs. So I don't think Thoughtseize is likely going to snag anything game changing. I could be wrong. If you have an opinion on this, please leave it in the comments. This is fine. I think what we do here is we open Island Ponder because usually you don't have anything you need to consign turn 1. And what are we looking for? I don't want to say we're looking for a Force because Force is not a great card in the matchup. But I would not be opposed to finding a Harbinger and a land. I don't think these are good enough. All right. Yeah, we got the Borrower anyway. It's not the worst, but it's pretty bad because they have every card in their deck basically has a cast trigger or, I mean, you don't want to generally bounce anything back to their hand. You can bounce the tokens, but what they'll do when you bounce a token is they'll just sack it and then it'll fizzle your Borrower and you won't be able to bring your Borrower out later. Okay, so options. 1, we could hold up Consign. They would need, let's see, if they do play Yavimaya, then they've got green. They need colorless, right? Because what is the casting cost? Okay, I'm just going to look at it. So Sowing Mycospawn, I believe the mana cost, is it green and colorless for Sowing Mycospawn? Mycospawn. What I'm thinking is, yeah, so they can cast it with just green. So they can technically have a turn 2 Sowing Mycospawn here and a turn 3 kicked Sowing Mycospawn if they have Yavimaya. And we would definitely want to consign that. All right, here's what I think we do. I think we do play out the Strix just to get deeper into our deck. I mean, it's going to be a game piece. It progresses our game state a little bit. This might be a mistake. Oh, that's insane. Yeah, hopefully we don't have anything to protect it. But if we can resolve that next turn, it'll be very, very good. Okay, Cavern, which is good, but it's not like game-ending good. So we can fetch the Swamp and we can cast Harbinger next turn. And it'll be a while. Actually, Kozilek's Command, they probably won't have Kozilek's Command. Okay, Fleshraker is a bummer, to say the least. But I will, assuming they don't have anything to cast right now, like a Lotus Petal, they won't have colorless for the rest of the game, if this sticks. All right, and Powder Keg is great. We can use that later, but I am going to go ahead and do the high roll thing and try to Harbinger. All right, and I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start attacking because we're the beatdown now. If they attack, we're going to win the race. Especially if we can borrow this back to hand, that'll be really strong. My opponent's asking me whether playing Yavimaya will likely give them green mana, but I don't think that's how it works. Okay, so they're tapping a bunch of blue mana here. Do they have the bounce creature? Chalice does give them a colorless. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Powder Keg and blow everything up. Unless they have something they can do right now. They are attacking. Okay, great. So I'm not going to block for obvious reasons. I'll just take the damage. Okay. So I can Powder Keg. Oh, this is great. I can Powder Keg and hold up Consign. I think that's very strong. So I'll go ahead and do that. Oh, actually, I'll just pay blue for this. Powder keg. I'm just going to destroy both their artifact and creature. Yeah, so it destroys that token. They float it. That's fine. And it's going to destroy their chalice. Now I'm going to go to combat. And we might actually win against Eldrazi for once. That would be amazing. And even if they attack in, like, actually, no, wait. As soon as I have priority, I should borrow it out of play just to, in case they have a, yeah, I'll feel really dumb if they do have something they can do here. Oh, they get the thing, don't they? Yeah, that was really dumb. Oh, actually, I can stop I can stop it and the trigger. Check this out. Cast with replicate 1, and we will cast here, and then we will replicate once, and then the replicate will target this. Okay, now I'm going to target. So I'll target this first, and then I think this targets this. Is that how it works? Okay, now the chalice is countered. Okay, great. So they didn't get anything out of that. But it's scary that they could potentially do that. So I definitely need to borrow that back to their hand next turn. And then I think the game will hopefully be over. I feel like if I borrowed last turn, I wouldn't have run that risk. I mean, who knows? They might have like any sort of number of different things in their hand. I'm just going to borrow her now just to reduce the risk. Okay, and now I can attack. And I should have not tapped my swamp there. That was dumb. Now I can't. Bowmasters. Yeah. This is the last game of the set, and it's like midnight. I'm just trying to keep it together. I don't usually play at night, but what I have found is like the later you stay up, like generally the softer the competition gets, because I think everybody else is up late at night too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think we got this one. Just going to attack with everything here. And I'll hold up the ability to brainstorm into a force. Okay, and I think just because I want to get this game over doesn't mean I'm not going to play correctly. And playing correctly is playing out Psychic Frog even at this point in the game. All right, they've conceded. Harbinger did what it needed to do. Consign to Memory did what it wouldn't have needed to do if I just bounced that back to hand earlier. But I was happy to be able to stop the spawn token trigger. All right, I think we run it back. I don't think we make any changes. I still don't think Daze is good against their deck. Actually, yeah, Daze is definitely not good on the draw. We could bring in a Longa Bias removal spell. I don't think that's right. We could bring in Force Negation. I don't think that's right. I think Powder Keg was great there. I'm gonna run it back. Borrower played a role. I was talking about how Borrower was terrible in this matchup, but we used the whole whale. If that's not too macabre, we used every part of the whale to win that one. All right, final game of the night. I think this is a trap hand. This isn't good enough. I don't like having this Undercity Sewer in the hand. Bowmaster is like a card we brought in because it's better than Daze. I don't think it's a great card. I'm gonna mulligan. This is much better. It's not a great hand, but Force definitely makes me a little bit less scared. I think we might put back Bowmaster. Yeah, I mean, I'm increasingly feeling like Bowmaster doesn't belong in the deck right now, but there wasn't anything else to put in, which is probably a weakness of the current sideboard configuration. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put Bowmaster back. Okay, Devourer. See what they get. I mean, Devourer basically means we've got a clock. Like we only have so much time before we're dead. So now drawing a lot of Wastelands would be good. One of the reasons I take Daze out, even on the play in this matchup, is it just feels like you have to get stuff on board quickly and bouncing stuff back to your hand. Wow, they put this into exile. That's great. Maybe they don't have a lot of mana. They're opening with Cavern. Yeah, I think they're trying to dig 2 land. That makes sense. They may, are they going to run out the Herald? I think we just Island Ponder here. All right. I think Thoughtseize is actually good here, and Wasteland is very good. I don't think it's likely we're going to be able to screw them, but I'm going to try. We could actually Thoughtseize first and see whether they are going to get screwed before we start wasting them. Because we can just hold the Wasteland for later. I want to hit like a soul land for sure. Like I'd rather hit that Eldrazi temple if we can. Fleshraker, terrifying. Yep, that's very strong. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize them. Yeah, because if they're low on mana, like this is a way to interact meaningfully. Okay, so they are indeed low on mana. So we can ignore the Devourer. The game probably won't progress to a point where that's playable. Cosmic Command can help them get through their deck a little bit faster, but they won't actually have any colorless mana to cast it. I think the take is Chalice here, and then we waste their Eldrazi Temple. And this is very, very temporary, and they can absolutely claw back into this very quickly. But next turn, we'll have Strix out, and we can start trying to draw to something good. Okay, so just to pop out their hand here. Yeah, because I don't want them to have anything relevant that they can do here. Next turn, if they draw a land, we'll just be sad. They didn't draw a land. They have a lot of land. There are like 24 lands in the deck plus the Lotus Petal. Their deck is mostly mana sources. This can solo me. It does a lot of damage. And by denying them that Chalice, we also denied them a mana because they would have got a mana from that. So I think we are drawing an unknown card. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. I'm pretty sure it's an unknown card because we drew the Thoughtseize in the Wasteland already. Yeah. Oh, Bowmaster, that's not bad. We can ambush this, potentially. We need to start beating them down is what we need to do. And Bowmasters does help a little bit. Yeah, they got out of that. But they don't necessarily have good stuff in their deck. I can force a Cosmic's Command, and I happily will force that if they go for that. That's a great use of my force. Crack the pedal. Crack the pedal. Yes! All right. This is the Cosmic's Command that we are going to force. They still get a freaking counter off it because it's a cast trigger. They are new to the deck, I believe, since they're asking me questions like that and they're taking a long time to resolve this. So even if we win, I won't consider this like, our deck's great against Eldrazi. So they are getting some mana for that, even though we prevented them from exiling our Strix. And I think it's unlikely they attack in. Okay, options. One, we can just attack in, which I think is a foolhardy thing because they'll attack, and then we could ambush with Orcish Bowmaster. I think that's a mistake. The other thing we could do is we could play out another Strix and hope to find a Nethergoyf, which would be insane. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and play out a Strix. Or a Wasteland. Wasteland would be great too. Either of those cards would be insane. All right, I'm getting the spinny thing over here. Hopefully it resolves. And I've got tons of time if I have to do a restart, but I don't want to have to restart. It's a pain. Okay, what do we draw? Island. Okay, not the most exciting card, but we can fetch our Surveil land here, and I will go ahead and attack in for one. Let's see, how far are they? So they got 1, 2, 3, 4 toward their Devourer, and then they have one unknown in hand. Hopefully it's not a land. And now they have 2 unknowns. Okay, they did find the land. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're one away from casting the Devourer of Destiny. So this is quickly slipping away from us. All right, I'm going to fetch Surveil. That is a card we want on top of our deck. Even though it's kind of slow, we can both Nethergoyf and Bowmasters here. I don't think there's any point in playing these out, really. I'll play one out. I'm not going to use it. Just going to go ahead and attack with both. Okay. Now we're going to play out our Nethergoyf. And we'll keep the Bowmasters as a surprise. If they draw a land here, Nethergoyf is likely to get exiled. Although they might exile one of the Strix instead because it can trade with the Devourer. That's not the worst. I can bring it back. Okay, 1 unknown, 1 Devourer of Destiny. Let's see what they have here. Oh, they're swinging in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play out my Bowmaster here. I'm going to hope they don't have a way to interact. And I will just block with the Bowmaster itself. No, that's not right. I want to block here like that. Because this can potentially make their K commands a little more awkward if they draw a second one. It's not a huge deal. Okay, they're casting something here. The One Ring. Well, I'm really glad I didn't use the Bowmasters, the block with the Bowmasters now. Yeah, you got a One Ring. All right, let's hit ourselves, I guess. Wait, if we hit this, then we have enough things to bring Nethergoyf back in. It'll be bigger. Yeah, I actually think we do that. We hit that. Now we have more types in the graveyard. Okay. Brainstorm would be good here. Strix is not bad. I'm not going to complain about a Strix. I think I'm going to see what... No, I can't. Actually, I'll see what I get with Strix first. Strix is a good card. I mean, they don't have a good way to get rid of it. And then we can play out a land and we can bring back Nethergoyf. This actually isn't that bad. We can hit one of their... We can start restricting their mana. I think that's... Is that better than bringing back the Goyf? I think it is. I'll bring back the Goyf next turn. I have to hope that they are choked on mana. I think that's my only path to victory here. Also, that allows me to just keep the island in hand and use it next turn. Okay, they get the eye, so it's a lot of mana. I'm glad we cut them off mana now, for sure. Thought Knot's fine. Okay, they are drawing cards here. We are going to be able to amass. And we are going to be hitting them in the air for 2. Fleshraker, not what we wanted to see when they have a One Ringer out. Okay. All right. This is a terrible draw. Yeah, I want to brainstorm these away. I think we... Do we have to attack with both of these? I'm going to attack with one for sure. There's no point in attacking with the Orc Army. Yeah, a piddly 1 damage in the air. Then I'm going to blue, black, black. The color doesn't matter. And I'm going to exile a land, sorcery, instant. Oh, do I have to exile my creature? Well, if that's the case, I'll keep the instant in the graveyard, I guess. So let me read the text on Nethergoyf. Exile any number of cards with 4 or more types among them. Okay, so I can just exile these 3. And that should work, right? Land, Strix. Okay, land, Strix. Should be 4 types. Exile any number of cards with 4 or more card types among them. 2 exiled so far. Okay, so it's so hard to see what I've actually exiled here, but I think... Okay, there, done. All right, Nethergoyf is back as a 3/4, so I can now block that Nasir if I need to. They're taking 2. If they use it again, they're going to take a lot. But, I mean, they probably should because they can probably burn me out with Glaring Fleshraker here. Okay, these are all going on to Glaring Fleshraker. Glaring Fleshraker is a meanie, and I do not like him. He always beats me up and tries to take my launch money. I think that is a critical play there. It's just getting rid of it. All right, so they've got a lot of cards. They don't have a lot of mana. Now they have a lot more mana. They can Sowing Micah Spawn and get rid of my lands. That's not the issue. They can get rid of something with this Devourer. They may go for the Orc Army. I'm not sure what they're doing here. I feel like I'm actually slightly favored at this point because it's going to be hard for them to win now that the Glaring Fleshraker is out, unless they have another one, which they certainly could. Okay. They're playing another One Ring, which gives them protection again. That sucks. And now they just shouldn't tap that. Well, okay, they can tap it, I guess. I'm just going to ping my own I'll ping theirs. There's no reason not to ping it. They've got a ton. They made their land drop, so they are advancing their game. Non-land, please. Technically, this might do something, so I will play it out. I'll play this out, and I will pass. There's no point in attacking. We are hoping that they get greedy with the One Ring and tap it again, I guess. I don't know that their deck has any way to gain life. I think the fact that they're choked on mana is really important here. So they can't really draw anymore. It'd be extremely reckless for them to draw more. I think they have to Devour here probably. That does generate some mana. Currently just one, but if they can find a Glaring Fleshraker, and if they have a second Kozilek's Command, we're in serious trouble here. All right, it that heralds the end. The Pastor of Muppets that can create, if they can create a whole bunch of little dudes, this will be a problem. They can Devour and get rid of our Orc Army. That would probably be the most impactful thing they could do here. Okay, they did use their Cavern mana. I definitely could have forced that It that heralds the end. Maybe that was a misplay, not doing that. I want to force Kozilek's Command if that's what they have, though. That would be the real thing to force. Okay, here's Devourer. I can't stop it. They have exiled my Borrower, or my Bowmaster, rather. They have a Fatty. I will counter if they try to do something else. They are drawing greedily. May this be their undoing. What's this last spell they're casting? Chalice for 1. This doesn't do anything. I'm not going to counter it. Okay, so here's what I think is correct. I assume they don't have anything good. Whoosh. Okay. Let's think about this. So if we Deluge, it does kill my Strixes. Okay, I think what I do, maybe I attack everything and then I Deluge, and then they're going to die to the ring before they can get back. Because I only need a Deluge for 4. That does leave me with quite a bit of life. And they will take 2, and they'll be dead in 2 turns. I'm going to do it. Call me crazy, but I'm going to do it. So thinking about my lines, is there any reason not to do this? I can bring back Nethergoyf. Yeah, I'm going to do it. They're probably like, why are you attacking with everything? You don't have to do that. But they don't know I have Deluge. Wow, they just scooped. Okay, so we won. So what would have happened? Let's talk through what would have happened here with the Deluge. So we got a 3-2 positive record. I'm not super happy with how. Oh, I guess I'm pretty happy with how every match turned out. Yeah, the games against Rescam were challenging, or Blue-Black Reanimator rather. Yeah, those were the most fun, rewarding of the set, in my opinion. So let's talk about what I was going to do here. So I was going to just kill everything. Basically, they would have had to force block here. They probably would have blocked here and probably blocked here to trade. Then they'd only have this. They'd lose 2. They'd lose 2 to this. But they would still have 1 turn, but I don't think they would be able to get anything in. So I don't even think this really mattered. I think I just needed to attack. I probably overthought it. So if you're in the audience, just attack. What the heck? Just in the game. I always play super duper careful against this deck because I've been burned so many times where I've had total domination on the board, and then they're like Glaring Fleshraker. And of course it's a 1-drop once you have Ayavugan out, and sometimes you can even so Glaring Fleshraker, and then Kozilek's Command, and then I take 25 or something. It's crazy. I've been in I'll describe the most extreme game state. So this was a paper tournament in Shinjuku in Tokyo. I was up against a gentleman, very nice guy. And he was you could tell just from looking at him, he was just yeah, what a mashed face. I'm an aggro player. He loved his Eldrazi. He had red sleeves with the red color mana. So he was probably playing Burn or something. And then he got a hold of Eldrazi. Really chill dude though. But, I had a Psychic Frog on the table. I had a Flip Tameo. I had a Force of Will. I had did I have a Force of Will? I think I may not have had the Force of Will, but yeah, I think the one thing I didn't have was a counterspell, but he had like almost no life, and I had this incredible dominant. Oh, I had Uro on the table. I had Uro, and I was at like 26 life, and so I'm like, okay, well the game's over, like, but I can't kill him this turn, so I pass after having attacked and everything, and then boom, they had Eye Out, so they go boom, Glaring Fleshraker, boom, Glaring Fleshraker, and then they Kozilek's Command, and then I think they like played It the Heralds the End. I can't remember, but they basically went from like nothing on board to like they didn't completely burn me out in one turn, but it was like basically like they built such an maybe they did burn me out. I'm sorry, I'm like a terrible storyteller. But anyway, the point is this card is freaking scary as hell. Like this card is probably the scariest single card in Modern Horizons. I know a lot of people say Psychic Frog is Tameo. We saw the scary half of Tameo in the last round, but I genuinely believe the Glaring Fleshraker is like the card that goes from 0 to 60. Like things get real really quickly. Things get really metal really quick with the crazy lobster guy out there. Man, look at this thing. Like, can you just imagine like something like that, like finding something like that in your house, and it's even the size of like a cat or something, and how terrifying that would be? This is like the most terrifying looking Eldrazi of all, because who isn't scared by mollusks? Anyway, that was fun. I'll stop rambling here. I had a lot of fun with this league. I love this build. I love the fact that we've got the 3 Nihil Spellbombs. I feel like they gave us so much reach against the blue-black Reanimator deck. And I don't think that paying 1 mana and eventually paying another mana, like I like the optionality of this. Almost every deck uses their graveyard in some way. In the mirror, this is strong. Obviously, against the many Reanimator decks we tend to run into in leagues, it's very strong. And I just think that Mishra's Bauble just can't compare. Like, yes, you're not spending any mana and you get the card and everything, but like it gets countered by Vexing Bauble, and sometimes like people will Bowmaster you, and it's just like really annoying when you're just trying to get through your dead card and get an artifact into your graveyard. So yeah, I like this a lot more, and I think 3 is a perfectly defensible number right now. I also like Emperor of Bones. I like the fact that we don't even have to board any graveyard hate in. We do have Grafdigger's Cage, which, as I said, is exceptionally strong right now against the Green Sun Zenith Nadu decks and against the any sort of Reanimator type deck. And there are even decks that are playing Court of Calling, so they've got like basically 8 search your library for creature effects, and Grafdigger's Cage blanks all of them. It's just such a strong, and you don't need to play 2 of them. Like I have played 2 of them before because I think it's strong, but like just playing 1 and you get the effect, right? Because it's not like it stacks. Like you wouldn't want to draw out 1 when you already have 1 out. So I think this is a great card. We saw how powerful Powder Keg was in that match against Eldrazi. It took out a Chalice. It took out their 1 mana producing creature. We saw how strong Long Goodbye was and how strong it would have been had we been able to find it in that match against the Tameo Psychic Frog, Armada over there. We saw how strong Orcish Bowmasters was even against, one. It's crazy that Eldrazi is now playing the One Ring. I guess the One Ring is just a card people have slept on for a long time. I always disliked the kind of like passive design and, but I mean, there is some risk reward, and them getting trapped under their own ring, like arguably is what killed them, right? Harbingers of the Sea, absolute unit when we shut off their mana with Eldrazi. So I like the sideboard a lot. And these Force Negations were really good against the Show and Tell deck, even though we lost to that. I feel like we would have lost a lot harder had we not had these in our deck. So I'm looking forward to rewatching these and figuring out what I did wrong, what I could have done better, how I could have played tighter. I encourage you to do the same, like by just commenting with timestamps for anything. I know I ask like 3 times every video, but I really appreciate any sort of feedback on my play, because it's, super helpful. Like you can play a whole lot and you can have these E-Day fixes, these fixed ideas in your mind about like, oh, the general heuristic is I should do this and this, and they can totally blind you to like some, key plays that you could have made. So yeah, that'd be super helpful. I don't have any changes I'm going to make to this. I'm just going to run it back. I'll probably maybe play some other decks in the meantime just to spice it up on the channel a little bit. But this is my main. This is what I like the most. I did pick up this card in paper. I'll just real quick. I'll tell you. It's not available on MTGO, but boy, does it look fun. My boy Chica over in Europe tore it up with this card. It is, I'm stumbling over the thing, Curie, like Madame Curie, Emergent. Let's just type that. Yeah, there we go. And it's this robot. It's not the woman. You would think with Curie, like, oh, it's the woman in the thing. I thought it was, but it's actually the robot because it says legendary creature robot. It's a legend, which sucks. But basically, you can exile your Phyrexian Dreadnought, and you can make it a 12/12 trample that whenever it deals damage, it draws cards equal to its base power. So, hey, I'm going to hit you for 12 and draw 12 cards. That seems pretty good. And basically, it allows you to play Stifle Knot with less dependency on cards like Doorkeeper's Thrall, because you can just play, Curie is like your Stifle effect number, 9 through 12, however many you want. I think Chica's list, I'll go ahead and pull up Chica's list. Let me do this 1 second. All right, this is the list. So sweet. So, of course, I don't like this layout. Like, don't use MTG Goldfish's interface. Like, because it just like puts the wastelands in random places. And it's difficult to follow, and it's using all these weird printing, like art printings. Use Moxfield or something like that. But yeah, it plays. It's got a Murktide in it, which I would definitely remove. Like, I'm not planning to play the Murktide. I am planning to play Psychic Frog number 4. I am planning to play Tameo number 4, and then I just need to figure out like what I'm going to cut. But I'll definitely cut But the interesting thing about this list, and I played a similar list at our weekly the other day. The interesting thing about this list is it's playing white just for Swords to Plowshares, and it's got a couple cards on the sideboard. Like, I don't think Triumph is a legacy playable card personally. Wrath of the Skies, it's really hard to have double white to use it. But it is nice having access to Prismatic Ending. And so what I'm doing with this is I'm doing a slightly different take on it, where I do have Lavinia and I do have Containment Priest, which is insane right now. It's like a really strong card. But I think that this mana base is really interesting because it's doing the 3 Wasteland 3 days thing, which I think is good. I mean, it's not balls to the wall tempo, but it's a little bit more responsible than going 4 days for Wasteland, just because those late game days, those late game wastes are really not fun to draw. I'm also not on the Otawara train. Like, I feel like this could be fetch number 8 or 9. Like, I think you should try to play 9 fetches if you can. But just the notion of not having to play as many dress downs, which I think, how many dress downs does he even have in here? I think he's got 3. Yeah, 3 dress downs, and not having to play Doorkeeper Thrall at all, but still getting to play Frog, I think is really strong. And, it cannot be understated how powerful Swords of Plowshare is compared to Fatal Push. Like, there's just something nice about being able to easily plow a reanimated troll, or just get a Trax off the board or something, like, or take out some Eldrazi that's like way more than 4 mana casting cost. So I like that. I'm not sure about splashing white. I mean, I think like you could play blue black, and then you could also get like Harbinger of the Sea in this deck doesn't make any sense the way he played it to me. I mean, maybe if I play tested a lot. The problem, of course, is I can't play tested a lot because this card isn't on MTGO, and who knows when they're going to release the Fallout cards, if they ever release them. But it is kind of like a stealth thing. Like, if you go to like a paper tournament, and like people have to read your cards, that's a huge advantage. And people are not going to be ready for this at Eternal Weekend, I don't think, unless there's like some breakout performance. I mean, you could argue this is pretty close to breakout performance. I think they came in 10th at the Four Seasons tournament, which was like a 400 person tournament. But yeah, like, I love this build. I love Stifle Knot. It's just so fun to bully aggro decks with Stifle Knot. So you'll definitely see some Stifle Knot this week as well. Until next week, or not next week, until maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna keep these flowing. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.